It's always great of you to let us into your homes. We know you've waited patiently for us to deliver on our promise, which we make every weekend, Saturday and Sunday, telling you that you're taking center stage in our lives. You took center stage all through the week. We prepared for you, and we will never renege on that promise. That's why Saturday and Sunday, we are here with you. Thankfully, unload and unveiling all that we have put together for your viewing pleasure. Just like today. Yesterday, we began the conversation. We were talking about the overdependence on the national grid. And we brought to the fore different solutions, renewable energy solutions. My name is Thelma Opaja, and as always, I'm not here alone. Patience, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Thelma. Like you said, power is critical to every aspect of life. We all need power. As a matter of fact, industries, hospitals, small and big businesses, we practically survive on power. And like has been said, Nigeria is faced with a broad spectrum of challenges as far as power is concerned. And while they're working seriously to combat these challenges, life goes on. Nigerians must survive. The big question here again is, how do we survive? How do we navigate the troubled waters of the situation of power in this country?
Patience, if your hands are not too busy, you know how we do it.
I'm here already.
Okay, Dip, we welcome you. It's yoga. Namaste.
Namaste.
Raise your knee, walk towards your trunk. Namaste. Hello to everyone. I am Diptiranjan Mohanty, a trained yoga teacher from High Commission of India, Abuja. She is Tinasi. Today we will perform Janu Sirsasana. Janu is a Sanskrit word. Janu means knee. Sirsa means head. So the posture name is head to knee posture. Before that, we should know the contraindication. Those who are suffering in slip disc, hernia, sciatica, high blood pressure, heart disease, they should avoid this posture. In case of pregnancy, women should avoid this posture. Now, outstretch your both legs. Both feet should be together, both palms above your knee. This is the starting position. Now, fold your right leg. Place your heel against your perineum. Right foot, place it inside of your left thigh. Both hands on your knee. Now breathe out. Bend forward from your hip. Slide your both palms. Hold your foot. Grasp it well. Then try to touch your forehead to the knee. Both elbow on the floor. Breathe in. Raise your trunk up. Head up. Come to starting position. Now breathe out. Slide your both hands. Hold your foot. If possible, hold your big toe and hold your outside of your foot through your left hand. Maintain this posture as much as you comfortable. Normal breathing. Forehead touch to your knee. Relax your back muscles. Breathe in. Slowly come up. Do this posture 5 times in each side. Again, bend forward. Hold your big toe through your 3 fingers, index finger, middle finger and thumb, and the outside of your foot through your left hand, left palm. Forehead touch to your knee. Breathe in, slowly come up. Then we'll do in the opposite side. Straight your right leg. Now fold your left leg. Place your left foot inside of your right thigh. Heel touch to your perineum. Both palms above your knee. Now breathe out. Bend from your hip. Hold your foot. Forehead touch to your knee. Breathe in. Slowly come up. Breathe out. Hold your big toe on the outside of your feet. Breathe in. Come up. Breathe out. Hold this posture as much as you comfortable. Now normal breathing. Breathe in. Slowly come up. Now straight your left leg. Come to starting position. Janu Sirsasana, head to knee pose. This asana stretches the hamstring muscles and increases flexibility in the hip joints. It tones and massages the entire abdominal and pelvic region, including the liver, pancreas, spleen, urogenital system, kidneys, and adrenal glands. It helps to remove excess weight in this area and stimulates the circulation to the nerves and muscles of the spine. Thanks for joining this yoga session. See you next time. Namaste. Raise your knee, walk towards your trunk.
Some wise person said many years ago that greatness is not where you are, but in the direction that you are heading. If you remember what life was like over 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, before we fully came into our potential and our power, you will know that we're marching forward in prosperity, especially if you know that a good candle, that is, provides the illumination of 1/100th of what a single 100-watt bulb can provide. Amazing. And see where we are today. We've done electricity. We're now looking at hydro, solar, and other sources of renewable energy. And our conversation will start when we set the tone with this background feature. Let's watch it together.
Presently, 76 million Nigerians of the Nigerian population are not connected to the national power grid. For those connected, power supply is a serious problem, as approximately 90% of the total power demanded is not supplied. Is Nigeria maximizing the potentials in renewable energy?
We are not maximizing enough, not that we are not taking advantage of it. Every area now you see either solar street light or solar this, solar that. One thing that is yet to be fully realized in that area of renewable is that most of the technologies are still imported. In fact, virtually 99.9% of it is still imported, just like the old technology. We have not domesticated most of those things. So you are still going to buy almost everything to bring down here to use.
No, not yet. We are so blessed. From Kara Namoda to Bonny Island, we have renewable resources in abundance. We have the sun. We have the wind. We still require investment and the sector to be properly regulated.
As part of the economic sustainability plan of this administration, the government is working towards providing solar energy to 5 million households by 2030.
At Kerishi over there, here in Abuja, you have the Naseni solar, I call it a factory. They have some little things they are doing right now, trying to build and re-engineered those technologies and come up. But some few persons here and there are also trying to do it privately. But when there is more incentives, maybe tax relief and so on for some of these people, they'll blow it out and they'll begin to manufacture these things themselves. And when we can manufacture enough, we cannot use, but that's just one aspect of solar, which is solar PV. We have other solar systems and maybe other kind of renewables. The hydros, we have small rivers we can dam. Right? Even here in Abuja, we have a lot of small streams that you can dam. They are all renewables and so on and so forth, many different types. So all that, we can maximize them.
Since the rural areas are far from the electricity grid, and most currently do not have power, there is need for each area to become a little hub where they will produce their own power by whatever resource that was closest to them.
Every part of Nigeria, up to even the Niger Delta, can generate power through solar. Yes, and wind, because the sea of the Niger Delta, you can plant solar turbines in there, and you're going to generate large number of power because a lot of wind is in that environment, just like it is the Sahara wind is blowing the north that can generate power, use solar or using wind steam, wind power plant and so on. All that is possible. Now, why are they not using it?
In order to enhance energy security and sustainability, the use of renewable energy sources have to be fully developed in partnership with the private sector.
Covenant is running, maybe, I don't know, maybe their installed capacity about 10 megawatts. They'll be able to manage their system very well. You have other private entities that run their private power plant like that successfully. Okay? But the Covenant University must have obtained a license to generate and use its power within its confine. But if he needs to sell to upload to the national grid, he has to obtain another license to do that.
Our focus on Weekend Deal today will be on reducing overdependence on the national grid.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, it is Weekend Deal, your favorite weekend show. One place we all manage is the home front. We all are managers of our home, and our home need power to operate.
Today, to join in our conversation and lend their expert opinion to our discourse, which is talking about overdependence on the national grid, we welcome Dr. Tunde Aina, an engineer, an IT expert, and a filmmaker. Let's get to see his profile.
Engineer Tunde, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, our second guest is also Dr. Kabir Yusuf, the National Programme Coordinator for Nigerian Special Agro-Industrial Processing Projects. Doctor, you're welcome to the Weekend Day Studios.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's just start immediately. Yours is an organization that is adding value. You process the industrial processing project. And we're talking power in Nigeria, and power drives everything. How are you dealing with the situation? What solution or alternatives are you using to ensure that your business is on?
Well, so with energy is dynamic and a very interesting route to follow. So the first thing you do when it comes to energy is you look at your surrounding. Just like how we adapt to climate change, you now adapt to the energy system and try your best to maximize the natural resources available to you. Okay. So what we're doing currently with our processing zones that we're building in different states is we're trying our best to utilize renewable energy mix, specifically those that are available in the areas. Okay. Now, we have about 8 states, Kano, Kaduna, Kwara, Oyo, Ogun, Imo, Cross River, and the FCT. So for the northern part, we utilize solar. Okay. For the southern part, we utilize biomass. And for future planning, we're now looking at gases. Okay. So basically, this is the same also for the residential sector. Okay. So you look at your environment, and then you try your best to adapt with what is available.
We need to take a break at this time. Dr. Kabir, I crave your indulgence. Weekend Deal continues. Don't go anywhere. I was just browsing what some wise people who came before us have been saying about power, about solar, and something caught me. Somebody said, faith is like electricity. You can't see it. You can't see what birds say, but you can feel it. And going beyond that is our faith has kept us steady, and unrelenting, because now we're seeing that beyond electricity, there's a lot more. There's solar, now there's biogas or mass, there's hydro. Dr. Kabir was telling us in detail what it entails and how more people can have access to affordable, renewable energy. Dr. Kabir.
Yes, thank you. So, I was telling you the 2 options one have. For new buildings, how you can adapt to your environment, taking into consideration or maximizing the natural resources around you, which is the air and the light. Now, for ventilation, you're having cross ventilation, or what we call stack ventilation, for those that have 2 buildings now, taking advantage of the airflow between and temperature between the lower and the upper level. The engineers, I'm sure engineer Aina would know more about that. So that is one. Now, lightning. I don't know if you know that these bulbs that we have generate heat.
Yeah.
So the lesser you use them, the better for you. Now, when you take advantage of light penetration inside your house, of course, also using different colors. When you have a house that is painted in black or dark colors, of course, you should expect heat, yes, rather than when you have a house that is painted white and internal white. Now, when you have huge windows, or when you have sky waivers, those windows you have on the roof, now you have reflective light. So at least you can say from 7 a.m. to around 4, you're going to have different reflections of light in your house. So you don't usually need these lights, right? Okay. Now, taking into consideration our situation in this country, cost of things, right? And the tariff on electricity. Instead of, we already are comfortable by culture. We don't have the culture of switching off our bulbs. I believe it is time for us now to utilize technology. Use sensor motion bulbs. They're cheap. So whether your children, if you can remember to switch off, your children may not. If they haven't, then it uses motion, right? Now, you popped up a question that, okay, our houses are already built. What do we do? Now, still before I come to this micro generation technologies, which is your solars, your small hydro powers, and what have you considered increasing the size of your window? That is a good option. Have you considered creating a window on your roof, which we call the skylights? That gives you ventilation. You can put a net to it, right? So there are several options to adapt to your natural environment first, before you move to expensive technologies. Now, part of what the Renewed Hope agenda has brought to us is what we call the Presidential Physical Incentive for Gas for Growth, which is the zero value added tax on most of this gas and renewable energy technologies. A lot of our people don't know it. You can easily write a letter to the National Climate Change Council or to the Presidential Advisor on Energy, especially for our importers. So you get zero value added tax for these things: electric vehicles, gas vehicles, gas boilers. So we're gone from the era of saying these things are expensive. Government is striving so hard to ensure that it is affordable to each and every citizen.
So that's for those who are importing them.
Yes, but they are the ones that sell to you. So when
At the end of the day,
yes,
yeah.
so when they import them cheap,
Yes,
when they import them cheap, they sell to you cheap. The first thing you should do is the energy audit of your house.
Oh.
That is
we heard that. We got
Yes.
that from Emmanuel and Princess
yesterday. Energy audit
Okay.
and all that. Okay, I just wanted to also say that eco-friendly houses are way to go. I think that's what you're basically saying. When you're building now, you must be thinking eco-friendly houses.
Yes.
Okay, engineer, you know, I mean, solar has been here for long, and I would think that by now we should have local artisans fabricating solar panels, so that the prices will come down, so that somebody like Patience can afford solar in her house. Why our local artisans, why are we not fabricating what we can use in this country, since solar is the way to go and we have enough sun? What's stopping that technology?
Yeah, the technology to manufacture a lot of these products is a bit complicated.
Okay.
And requires a lot of support from government. For example, you may also ask, why are we not making cars? You know, the best we can do is to probably assemble. Because when you go to countries where they're making cars, you have a cluster of industries where all the thousands of components that you need in a car is available within a certain location, and you can easily do it. Okay. Now, for solar, the panel itself, it's complicated to manufacture. It needs a lot of high-tech precision, which I think it's beyond what artisans can. Okay. However, the inverter itself, there are so many solutions. So many guys can come and put circuits together and make inverters, but making it cheaper than what's coming from the established manufacturers, that's where the problem is, because there are so many things that need to be put in place. The components, the access to even power for manufacturing, the excise duties and all that. Yeah. So this is where government needs to come in. Government, also educational institutions, and also businesses, because research is what brings about development. Sure. People must be able to research, and research costs money. So before you make this product, you have to do it over and over and over again, which means you're spending money. Where's that money coming from? Not from those artisans. Somebody has to come in and provide that support. So we having brilliant people who can do things is not enough for we to be able to do things, or for us to be able to do things. You understand? Those conditions have to be in place. Yeah.
So, but again, you're just saying that what just hits me is Dr. Kabir, just take it from here. Our educational institutions and research.
Yes.
That's what they should be doing this research, and then pushing the solutions forward for engineers like engineer, and the rest to take. What are they doing? What's happening to our research? Do you have an idea? Can you talk about that?
Yes. So you see, there's difference between research and commercializing that research.
Oh, okay.
Right? So what you have in our institutions is we have brilliant minds, right? Conducting different researches. But now building the bridge between the researches that came out, patenting it, and then commercializing it. And that is why we have agencies like NASENI doing that, right? A lot of these things are coming. But I mean, we have to give kudos to ourselves, and we have to give a break to ourselves. We're competing with countries that have existed for hundreds of years. You cannot expect that you're going to catch up with them in terms of competitive advantage, right? When your Nigerians are now trying to develop a new technology for lightning, it has been done 100 years in the United States or 50 years in China. And of course, they're already flooding the market. So definitely when your technology comes into the market, it is more expensive and doesn't have that competitive advantage. But I think we're coming there. I think the country has designed institutions to support that, but we need time. I think we need to give ourselves some break.
Okay.
When you say we need time, one wonders how much time.
I was just thinking that.
We got a video recently of a young guy who created a model, very innovative, very attractive, and he went everywhere to every nook and cranny, and he could not get funding from Nigeria. Someone had to take him outside our shores to get funding. But good thing you are here talking about renewed hope. Perhaps there are many young people out there who have ideas.
Yes.
They need to know, where do I go?
Yes.
You talked about letters being written to some places. Where can these young, enterprising, vibrant people go? We'll learn more about that after we come from River State. River State has been doing their research the whole week, unrelenting. They want to add their own quota to this discourse. What did you find out in River State?
Due to the rapid population growth, high demand for power supply, and increased tariff over the years, Renewable Energy Master Plan has critically been looked into and launched at various levels, aimed at increasing the share of renewable energy to at least 23% to mitigate the crises and challenges rocking the power sector in Nigeria.
You will find that in the name of private sector ejection or participation in this system, public funds have actually been used to bail out private people, and the country is still in the dark.
What makes economic sense is the availability of light and affordability of it. There must be one thing, affordability and the availability. They all have to meet.
And if you already have a prepaid meter in your house, the tariff is too high.
As it stands now, no light, no prepaid meter, the place is not metered, we are not getting what we are paying for. By estimated bill, we are not even knowing from time to time, you see 47,000 for 2-bedroom flat.
In River State, solar innovations and technologies are fast competing and replacing traditional electricity installations. Solar streetlights, solar panels, solar gadgets and backups are notably visible everywhere. Solar is fast becoming a household name.
As you can see, a lot of people today are going into solar system because of the non-consistent of the traditional electricity. Now, let's say 40 to 50% of Nigerians, more especially here in Port Harcourt, is going into solar system. This is 3.5 kVA solar system installation. This installation now is capable of carrying your fridge, your 1 horsepower inverter AC, and lighting point, your TV and fans in your house. So that is the work of this solar system. Fuel is too high, it's no longer affordable for the masses. So for that reason, a lot of people now are diverting to solar system. So that is why you see the solar is now everywhere, because I think it's more economical. Solar system is noiseless. You will just be using your light without any noise, without any power interruption.
When you have solar panel on the inverter, it's called full grid. We call that one full solar system. When you are having solar system, you don't depend on NEPA or GEN before charging the battery. Once the sun comes out around 7:30, 8 in the morning, the battery starts charging. With solar panel, you are full assured of 24-hour backup. Because during the day, you are not making use of the battery. You are making use of the sun during the day, because as the sun is charging the battery, is reserving the charging of the battery for night.
With the existing manpower, technology and innovations in place, Riverians have the potentials of leveraging on alternative trends of sustainable renewable energy and also promoting competition across power sectors for good service delivery.
sustainable energy, going green and renewable energy is the way to go. And it's a good thing we have experts in the house. Dr. Kabir was telling us a whole lot before we went to Port Harcourt and the break. And he'll continue in that thought. Dr. Kabir, you're talking about way to go. We talked about biomass and all that. So
yes,
Nigerians are eager. How do we want real solutions, real-time solutions. Let's know what to do, where to go, who to call, because whether we like it or not, we must power our houses, we must power our businesses, we must move on.
True.
So let's go there.
So I believed where we stopped was about technology incubation. Like
Yes.
how do you leverage, how do you commercialize your research?
Okay.
Now, we're asking, she was talking about, I think the young boy that had some technology, where does he go? So that's the good thing with this government, right? They've not only situated agencies, but they've ensured that they have young, vibrant minds running these agencies. I can tell you, to Nigerians, my fellow brothers and sisters, when you have a technology that you need to showcase, go to the doorstep of Naseni. They will not turn you back.
What exactly is Naseni? Call it full so that people who are watching will be able to.
So Naseni is basically, or let me give you the objective and the mandate, which is better. So it is the Science and Technology Incubation Center for our country.
Okay.
So basically, when it comes to incubating different technologies and researches, and as well as commercializing it, that is what Naseni does, right? She was also talking about, okay, this biogas technology. How do we have it? Who lends it? How do we do it? And I'll also tell you, go to the Environmental Health Council of Nigeria, right? They would teach you the technology, all the safety appliances, and all the safety measures you need to take. As I told her, it's an easily replicable technology, right? You can take it like your usual palm wine or fura danono that ferments, right? So, but what you do in this technology is you put the remains of your food, a cow dung just for the bacteria to ferment. That is the first layer. The second layer is your water, right? And then you put it under sunlight, and you leave a headroom, which is your last layer for the gas, so which is your fermented gas, your methane. And that you can use as your normal LPG. So basically that is free cooking energy, regenerative free cooking energy. As long as you keep putting that cow dungs, food remains, you keep getting.
No, do you use it on your gas or your cooker?
Yes, you use it on your cooker.
Your cooker, you just channel it through your...
Well, anything you can power gas, you can utilize biogas. It's just the methane of your gas.
Okay. Well, like you said, we need to learn it properly. So
yes, and there's an agency to support you.
Okay, great, good one. We have some messages here. I'll take a few in a moment, but I do know that Dr. Aino is versatile. Versatile. Beyond engineering, there's ICT, information technology, and then filmmaking. We have suffered some fatalities in the last few days, and some are saying that filmmakers perhaps are not paying attention as they should. But that will not be said for you, because we know you're antecedent. But there are challenges you are facing with regards to power, wouldn't you say? What innovations would you say people ought to explore? The same thing that homeowners are facing and businesses, so also are the producers and filmmakers. What can be done to ensure that they continue to reinvent themselves and make movies that can be shown locally and internationally as well? What's happening in that regard?
Well, filmmaking, of course, you need energy, you need power to power your equipment, you need lights. Because of the poor power supply from the public utilities, as a filmmaker, you have to make arrangements for alternative power supply. And it's even more complicated because you don't want noise. So you want a generator to give you light, but you don't want the sound to So in most cases, you have to have a very long cable, sometimes of more than 100 meters.
Wow.
Where you put the generator and then you power your set. Of course, there have been a lot of improvements in the technology of lighting as well. Lights of those days used to consume a lot of power, very hot, but these days you have these LEDs that consume very little and give you the same result. So yes, filmmakers have had to adapt to the situation of not having enough power supply. to run your productions.
But how is it, I talked about where you are now.
Yeah.
What do you think you can be innovated to make it more comfortable? Power wasn't always like this. The more Nigeria grew, the more we became largely populated. That's why I'm not talking about the over-dependence on the national grid. There was a time where you go a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, there's no power outage. Everybody is smiling, but not so now. If you had to forecast in the next 2 decades, what would your thoughts be? Because you will still be in business. You will still be looking for other ways to show your potential and your ideas. What would you say? Where do we look towards?
As individuals or as filmmakers or as businesses?
As Nigerians.
Okay, as Nigerians.
Thinking people.
Oh, yes. I think Dr. Kabir already, mentioned some of the things. First of all, we have to start looking at alternative. Even in countries where they have reliable public power, individuals are looking at alternative ways of generating power, either because it is probably cheaper or more sustainable, because there are some people that just care about the environment, because anytime you burn fossil fuel, it has some negative impact on the environment. But in our own case, we are still at the rudimentary level. So a lot can be done. The way we design our houses, then the kinds of the way we even the appliances that we install in our houses. So we need to be more conscious about power consumption. We talked about the bulb. Those old tungsten bulbs consume so much compared to the LEDs nowadays. Luckily most homes are already they've already keyed into the LED thing in terms of light. Then in terms of in the house, the refrigerator and the air conditioners, I think they consume more than any other, and technologies have been developed where you have appliances now consuming less and, to do the same work. So people need to be more conscious about, the appliances they have in the house and how they use them. He mentioned trying to bring in some automation in sensors and things like that. Okay, like me now, I have a practical example.
Are those affordable? The sensor?
Very affordable. It doesn't cost you much more. You just know what to do. Like recently, I changed my inverter to an integrated inverter, which I can program, because I have solar on my roof, which means that when there's sunlight, I have enough power in the house. So when there's NEPA, why should I use NEPA if I have the solar? So which means you need a smart system that will cut off NEPA and only use NEPA at night.
The plan you said you put together in 2020.
Yeah.
But that'll be when we come back. Koho was talking about technology as a lifeline. Is it really the lifeline we expect it to be? Are we thinking too far out of its reality? Koho, you did the research. What did you find?
In Nigeria, power outages are a daily reality, disrupting lives and hindering progress. But amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerges. That is technology. Join us on a journey to explore how innovative solutions are lighting the way forward in Nigeria's energy crisis.
With the increase in power supply now, the cost of power supply, so there's a need for everybody now to sit down, use energy efficient equipment. So gone are the days when you just go to the market and buy any type of fridge, AC, freezer that you want, or any power equipment. Now when you are going, you need to check what is power consumption of the equipment you are buying. So because the lesser the power it consumes, the better it is. Like the inverter AC, inverter freezer, inverter fridges that we have now, those one consume about 1/3 or some 1/4 of what the old fridge and freezer is consuming. For you, if you really go to a renewable, it's better you do what we call energy audit of your house. What equipment are we using? Which one do you need to save? Which one do you need to change? Because at times the money you're even using it, changing it, you might find out the next 2-3 years you have realized the benefit of it because of the cost of the bill that you are going to spend. And when you are now going to renewable energy with the solar, it makes it better. So because the power consumption will be reduced, so the amount you spend in putting the panel and everything together will also come down to half of the amount you're supposed to spend.
Knowledge is power, they say, and in Nigeria, that rings true. Mobile apps and online platforms provide real-time updates on electricity supply schedules, empowering citizens to plan their activities amidst the uncertainty.
The electric supply in Nigeria, I don't know, maybe it's in Nigeria or maybe the area I'm staying, but it has really been very bad. The light has not been coming the way it's supposed to. And the alternative measure I took was I went to one place like that and I bought this rechargeable lamp. Ordinarily, this thing is supposed to work for like 5 or 6 hours, but like this thing, it doesn't even take more than 2 or 3 hours. Before you need to just put it on, and before something will just go off like that. Maybe when you're even enjoying your sleep, that was when the something will just go off. So to me, I can even advise people if they want to go. Probably maybe I bought fake, I don't really know, and I bought it at the rate of 80,000. So if people want to buy this thing, they should check very well and know the real one they are getting to.
As traditional power sources falter, Nigerians are turning to renewable energy solutions. Solar panels, inverters, and energy-efficient appliances offer a lifeline, providing reliable electricity and reducing dependence on the grid.
Because of the high cost of power supply, diesel costs, petrol costs, the price have gone up. So now for people rely on generators are grow, so they have to now switch off to alternative energy, which is solar. So okay, inverter power system. At least with that one, you don't need to pay any monthly or weekly bill. So what you need is just the initial installation. After the installation, you are free to go. So the system is all yours, and then you can do what you like, and you have steady power supply, no more power cuts. Yeah, the benefit you have initially is that at least you know there's no more power cut. You don't depend, oh, let me wait for this time to bring light. The other time, the power supply will not be there from the grid. So this one, you have your steady power supply, 24 hours a day. No more power costs, so everything will be steady and you have a good light. The environmental benefit is more better than even the money you are saving. You are saving the planet because the power supply they are burning carbon dioxide releasing to the earth. The generator carbon is also being released to the air. So the carbon emission, you are reducing it because there's no emission from this one, no noise, no power, no need to go and change over. All you have is a seamless, noise-free, and environmentally friendly.
In the face of Nigeria's erratic electricity supply, technology emerges as a beacon of hope, illuminating a path towards a brighter future. Through innovation, determination, and a commitment to sustainability, Nigerians are powering through the darkness, 1 watt at a time.
Thank you so much, Koho. Indeed, technology is the way to go. I was talking to Dr. Kabira, but he has mentioned something about an energy transition plan, and I just want him to expatiate and tell us more about this. It sounds really interesting.
Yes. So, of course, you're aware of the Paris Agreement and also each country's commitment to reduce emission by 2030 and then net zero by 2050. Yeah. So that is what gave birth to the energy transition plan. Okay. So when I was the technical advisor on energy to the then Minister of Environment, and also focal point to the United Nations on energy. So we developed Nigeria's first energy transition plan. At that time, it was the first in the continent and second in the world. Okay. Yes. Wow. So that is what gave birth to the implementation framework of an agency, a council that was established, which is now called the National Climate Change Council. Okay. Yes. So they are saddled with the responsibility of guiding all the emission sectors. You have the agriculture, transportation, housing, transitioning their energy systems to clean energy, which is leading to net zero, right? So let me just give you one program out of that which would be coming, which we call the Clean Residential Energy Systems, right? This is a situation whereby starting from civil servants, I know a lot of Nigerians are looking at me, but I mean, this program is still in the plans to ensure it encompasses all the entire Nigerians. But I'll take what is meant for the civil servants, right? Okay. Once you're on the payroll of government, so basically the program tries to transition all the civil servants off the grid, right? How does it do that, right? So you have licensed government energy dealers that provide you, just like StarTimes, yes, that provides you with this energy system in your house, takes you off the grid. But first there's a charter, so which is the energy audit I told you about. We do an energy audit of your house, and you decide, how much kilowatts per hour do you need? 50 kilowatts per hour. Okay, so this is the levy on 50 kilowatts per hour. Of course, we're not going to burden you with the cost, right? So we deploy this energy system for you, and a levy is being charged to your salary monthly, which you pay. So by the end of 5 years, you pay only 50% of that. The rest, we have almost 100 billion of climate finance running around the world. We're not equitably accessing it.
We need to go and access it.
So accessing that would pay 50% of what you're going to pay. So you pay 50% in a span of 5 years, you're not going to feel it. 2-3% out of your salary, but you've already been taken off the grid 5 years before then.
And it's sustainable.
Of course.
And you're living well.
An engineer would tell us how sustainable solar home systems are. So you're not off the grid. So basically you have reduced the dependence on national grid. Now we push the excess energy to our industries, to power.
We have messages. We have messages. And I
say.
just want Dr. Aino to tell us about the plan you spoke of that can also ease the burden for Nigerians. What is workable? What is practical? What is already in existence? Please share.
The reality is that these alternative energy systems can be very expensive to acquire, and that's what's stopping most people from, making that transition. So he's talked about government plan. There are also plans in the private sector. For example, StarTimes. Of course, I'm the chief operating officer of StarTimes, and we've been doing solar for many years. But we're doing small systems to power TV sets and charge phones. But recently, in the last 2 months, we now have home systems, 2.5 kVA, 3.5, 5 kVA, 10 kVA. Now, these systems are not cheap, and they are not affordable for most people. So what we did was to partner with some financial institutions who will now bear the risk. So if you want the system, you approach the designated institutions and you start paying them.
StarTime officers?
Not StarTimes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start with StarTime, but we will link you up with a financial institution who will they'll pay us, and you will pay them over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending on what you agree with them.
Agree on, okay.
Yes, so that it makes it easier for more people to be able to, because what is stopping many people is that initial cost, and they're not able to drop that money at the same time.
We thank you most immensely for all this information. Nigerians are asking a few questions. Permit me to take them. Someone says, hello, great time I'm having, listening and learning. They say having solar power in our houses is not a problem, but it's the availability. They say nobody's talking about prices specifically. Only 15% of Nigerians can afford solar energy. Up to 85% of us cannot afford it. Good thing you've given us some ideas, right? Just like you have. Technology is helping a lot of people. I have a talent in songwriting and acting. Please, I need a friend. Do I have a friend in the studio? Can I reach out to him? I guess talking about Dr. Aino. Okay, good morning all. I'm enjoying your program. I'm off the grid now for almost a year. My only issue is the pumping machine. He talked about the pumping machine. What do I do? How do I go about it? Do I add one more before you respond?
Yeah, pumping machine. I'll talk about that.
Okay, Bernard from Kubwa says, let us also look keenly about how we can produce solar panels in Nigeria locally.
Yes,
is that possible? Who is exploiting that avenue? Okay, so you answered the one about pumping machine. You tell us about...
Yeah, pumping machine, they consume a lot of power. We have, they are rated 1 horsepower, 1.5 horsepower, and sometimes 2 horsepower. When you tell 1 horsepower is already almost, I think maybe over 700 watts, which means that you need a bigger solar system. You need a bigger inverter to be able to accommodate pumping machine. So, and also that should also guide you if you are into sustainable. At the point of purchasing, installing your borehole, you should be conscious of that. You understand?
Even right from
so because you can just say,
installation.
oh, because they say the most powerful is 2 horsepower. Okay, I want 2 horsepower. But how do you power the 2 horsepower? You have to think about that.
I
So
like
who do
that.
we bring in at that point? Who
Some
does he bring in?
experts.
The experts.
Okay.
Because
Who are
at
building?
at the building stage these days, you should consult these experts who will advise you. For example, water heating. Water heating takes a lot of energy in the house, but we have solar water heaters.
Ooh.
Yes, and I have one.
Wow.
And the solar water heater is separate from the solar that powers the house.
I don't understand.
So that system only heats water and stores it and keeps it hot. That's it.
We know that we must work. As much as we pray, we must think, we must innovate. And that's why we welcome a young man here today who has been thinking outside the box. Welcome Temidayo Alabi. He's a 400 level mechatronics.
Yes.
Wow, fantastic.
Yes.
Welcome to Weekend Deal.
Thank you very much,
It's great
ma'am.
to have you with us.
Same here.
We're talking renewable energy solutions. What is your buying into this conversation? What are your thoughts at this time?
Well, for me, renewable energy is what everyone is looking after.
Yeah.
Everyone is pursuing, and if we want to grow as a nation, we must join the trend. And in joining the trend, we must do something different. We can't go the same way others are going and expect to get much better results, because some of them have better equipment to help their own cause compared to us. For me, at some point, I was not really a fan of solar panels, of solar systems, because of their cost. Now, this is the paradox, or should I say irony of the whole thing. If you want to install your solar panel at home, I don't know, probably it will cost you 200k or let's say 500k to get your solar panels. To get battery, you need close to 2 million.
Yes.
But that tells you that your battery is almost like 3 to 4 times more than what your solar panels will cost. So the issue now is, how do we take care of battery issue? How do we take care of energy storage? I don't know. We have lithium in Nigeria that we use for the batteries. I do not know exactly what the government are doing about mining the lithium, and not just the government, private individuals as well. We have companies that should be interested in this to pick up the lithium race with Western countries.
They needed you to tell them.
Engineer Labi, bringing it home. Like we keep saying that our school system, we're 400 level student, our school systems, so much theory. We are not teaching our young ones in school any form of practical experience that they can bring home. Engineer Labi, you're a mechatronics engineer in the making. How? What can we do? Like, are they teaching you in school practical solutions? Or it's all theory? I just need us to touch base with what we can do. Are they giving you practical solutions?
That's about the curriculum,
Yeah,
right?
the curriculum. I don't know, I needed to go there. Because you're young, your mind is bright. And I do know that if you're given a practical experience, the sky is your starting point. That's what I think. Do you think our school system is equipping you with the right practical experience?
We need more young people to be thinking like you.
To be thinking like you, to come out and say, okay, I can actually use my mommy's comb and add it here and bring light into the house. You know, I remember when we were young, we could put battery and, do you know that in Thelma, when they put battery together, put the light to come and start shouting.
And some of us are not going to read engineering.
I read with the engineering, so I'm thinking, are they giving people enough practical experience?
Well, I looked at our curriculum, and I am a student of Bonn University, by the way.
Okay.
And our curriculum is quite good enough. I can remember when I was in 200 level, that's when I did my first, I think, student work experience program. I did it in school. It was just 6 weeks.
Yes.
And this was the core of what we were taught.
Yes.
Solar
You
panels.
did in school practically.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
It was the core. And so that was when I got to see solar. We did energy audits. That's like we went and then assessed how much you're going to need to do this. That's when I got an insight of what this thing really is.
It's all about.
And I think the problem we have is a lot of students studying engineering do not have their minds opened to new things.
Wow.
We tend to blame the system, blame the government, and blame every other person apart
Except
from ourselves.
I like this. Engineer,
You are an amazement in the making.
that's
In
my
fact, you have been made. Please ask the country, ask the world the tough questions.
Yes.
And perhaps you and your ilk will come up with
brilliant
solutions.
Well, for me, we have to look more in developing ourselves, developing our thinking quotient.
Yes.
coming up with new ideas. Looking at, I mean, if I see this thing works, I want to know how this lithium-ion battery works. How can I make it better? A lot of people are not, they're not looking towards making it better. They just want to join batteries together and light up the house.
And we must think local of what Nigerians can benefit.
More than just thinking local, we must be ready to compete with the white.
Favorably.
If we want to compete
with people like you.
There is hope.
There is like hope. You.
There is hope.
Young leaders, your time is now.
Your time is now.
Someone's asking us something briefly before we continue our conversation. They say, we're talking about net metering. That's a 20-30-35 thing. Do you know what net metering is? Okay, good. Did you listen to Dr. Yusuf talking earlier on? They said because our distribution grid is still not at 100%. He said there's so many losses. This system is advanced, as it were, with regard to Nigeria at the moment. They said let's get our distribution grid up and running. This will reduce losses in transmission, and we can now integrate net metering. Temidayo, what are your thoughts?
For me, this comes down to us investing in our electrical sector. It comes down to us looking at, I mean, it's expensive to build a distribution system. And I will tell you, the one we have currently is failing. In fact, if you ask me, it has failed. A lot of people are tapping into our electricity without paying. And when you don't pay for electricity, someone has to foot that bill. And in the course of footing the bill, most likely what they will do is those that use estimated billing, they put it on their head. Or if they don't put it on their head, the distribution company ends up not getting enough money to buy more electricity. So first,
so the system will not function. It
will not function well.
No, we're not complaining, and the people are complaining.
That's why we are having this issue. Our transmission system is.
So are you speaking to the patriots now in Nigeria?
More than just the patriots, we're talking to private individuals that should take interest in investing in this. Our government, I don't know. I don't know.
Everything should not be on them.
Exactly. I don't want to put everything on them. We live in, I think, a capitalist economy.
Yes.
It's a free
organized
market.
Organized should come in.
Come in and look at the gains you have to get in this. And the
how
government.
Do you think they can get those people who don't pay their bills? Some people don't want to pay. They use wise man, wise woman to connect a cable so they are not being seen and they are not metered. When the private sector comes in, how will they get those people to do the patriotic thing?
First, we have to be wiser than those that just want to come in, and there are ways we can monitor our lines. We use a system that makes it expensive for us to see everything. If we had underground systems, every house is wired directly to a local distribution center. So if you tap from somebody, another person will complain and they will see that you've tapped from somebody. But the way we are now, we use overhead cables, and because of the overhead cables, the best I think we can do right now is have drones to monitor these lines.
Drones.
So when someone that is not authorized climbs the ladder, we pick it. And it's not just having drones, having people monitor it in real time. So we know someone is trying to steal from us,
and it's identified immediately.
We have hope in Nigeria. I mean, we met two young men earlier, and then we are going younger, and there's a young man here who is just barely 19, an engineer in the making, giving us real life and real-time solutions. Who says there's no hope in Nigeria? There is hope.
I don't dim your shine for anything, for anyone, okay? And Nigerians, there are workable solutions and workable minds out there. God bless Nigeria. Bye-bye.